service, and we have actually seen how to actually communicate between these two services. There is a payment service where we do have a simple get endpoint, and then we do have a booking service. We do have a simple get endpoint. These two services are running as Spring Boot applications, as microservices. Okay. The communication that we have done yesterday, booking service has to call a payment service. Normally, if you just consider Spring Framework and Spring Boot, we cannot use these two technologies like Spring Framework or Spring Boot technology to establish a communication between booking service and a payment service. Okay. So if these two applications, that means the booking service and the payment service, if they have to communicate with each other, we need to use another library, which is something called a Spring Cloud platform. Okay. So Spring Cloud is also, a technology where we do have some starter dependencies. Once we add that into our POM.xml, then probably the communication is going to happen. Yesterday, we have already discussed all these kind of things, right? Okay. So right now, what I need to do, so here we do have a payment service broker. I'm just explaining the things whatever I have done yesterday. So this is a booking service, and this is a POM.xml. So here, as usual, we do have a starter web. Do you have any knowledge of Spring Boot? Good, right? Okay. So we have actually provided the dependency of the starter web. That means we are actually developing a web application, and we have another dependency, which is something called a Spring Cloud starter frame. And this is not from Spring Boot technology. This is actually from Spring Cloud. But if this starter dependency is there as a dependency, we have not provided any version for this, right? How the version is getting managed. If you see that whatever the dependency that we do add, there is a parent for this Spring Boot starter parent. Once it has a version, we don't have to define the version over here. It will be taken automatically by the parent. Okay. Now here we have another dependency, which is something called a Spring Cloud, which is actually used to establish communication between different Spring Boot actual applications. Okay. So, but here I have not provided any version for this, but still how the version is getting managed. Anyone knows about it, first of all, because we have not discussed all these points yesterday. So we have not used a version for this. Let's say this is a Spring Boot dependency. The version is managed from the parent because there is a parent tag, and we do have a version for this. And this version is actually given to this dependency also. So we don't have to mention version. Yes, good. Now, but tell me, Murali Krishna, so here we have added the Spring Cloud starter frame, but how the dependency version is actually managed, right? We cannot define another parent because every POM.xml has a single parent, right? Now, in order to define this dependency without version, there is something called a dependency management. But I just wanted to dig deeper into dependency management because this is really required for our mini project where we are going to develop Maven multi-module project. Okay. So here there is a dependency management. So we cannot define multiple parent tags since we are actually developing Spring Boot applications. We need to use Spring Boot starter parent as only the parent. And we are using Spring Boot starters dependencies, Spring Boot starter web, and so on. But if we want to use Spring Cloud, we cannot mention the parent again. There is something called a BOM. Okay, so BOM is a special type of POM. That means we actually call BOM as bill of materials. Okay, this is a special type of POM which is actually acting as a parent for one of our dependency, which is something called a Spring Cloud Starter OpenFame. And what is the version for this? Whatever the version that I just wanted to give over here, and this version has been defined inside these properties like this. Okay. Now the problem over here is, let's say here the 2022 0.4 is the version for the Spring Cloud version. And then probably we don't have to define a version tag again. So that's the total idea. Okay. So Spring Framework is actually used to write or develop Spring Framework based applications. And Spring Boot is actually used to develop Spring Framework based applications so that it gives a flexibility to the developer. Do not write any configuration classes. Let's say if you are going to connect with the database, just provide me the database URL, username, and password. I'll take and execute behind the scenes. You don't have to write the configuration classes. So by using Spring Boot, we eliminate writing a lot of configuration classes. And followed by Spring Cloud, we are using Spring Cloud because we have to establish communication between microservices. That's the reason we need to add Spring Cloud also as a dependency. And in order to explain about the communication, there are various types of communication that we can do between different Spring Boot microservices. But can I call this booking service as a microservice first of all? Can I call this booking service as a microservice? Anyone? Yes. So we can call this booking service as a microservice only if Spring Cloud is there. Okay. Now, why we are using this OpenFane, right? OpenFane is basically used to communicate between different microservices. Right now, we do have a booking service and we do have a payment service. So payment service has a simple get endpoint, and we do have something called a this is the endpoint that we need to call, but we will not expose our payment service to call it directly using localhost. And what is the port that we have given for this? Let's say it is 9092. And now localhost 9092 /payments and /pay. It will say that payment is successful. But this payment service has to be invoked by the booking service. So there is something called @enable payment clients. Right now, booking service has to call the payment service, right? Now we are actually using only one Feint client for the payment service. If you can see over here, there is something called @Feint client, and we need to provide the service name of the payment service. What is the service name of the payment service? There is something called string.application.name. Here we are going to provide payment-service. Okay, and then we need to provide the URL of the payment service application, which is http://localhost:9092 /payments and /pay and trigger payment. So this is exactly the same method which we have in the payment API, the same convention. Okay, and here on top of this, we have annotated this with Feint client, because this is a payment service broker which can call the payment service directly from the booking service. So that's the reason I have annotated this with @Feint client. So Feint client makes us or gives the flexibility for different services to make or call another service for the respective use. Okay. Now the problem over here is, I just wanted to explain one single thing over here. I just wanted to close all tabs because we have already gone through this application, but don't worry. This is the last demo session, and probably we will be starting with the actual sessions on Monday itself. But I just wanted to make a clear idea on these applications first of all. Okay, so let's go to the payment service first of all. And here I have actually defined the parent tag. And if you just go to the booking payment service, here also I have defined the parent tag as Spring Boot Starter Parent. And the same dependency over here as well. And if you go to the booking service, same dependency. Do we require to define all this dependency repetitively? and also this parent as multiple times. Let's say there are 10 microservices. Can we define this parent as 10 different times for different applications? We have to define, but we can eliminate that by using Maven multi-module project. Okay. So today I just wanted to conclude the demo sessions with this sample example on how to develop multi-module projects, because multi-module projects gives us the flexibility to deploy our applications as Docker containers and also inside the Kubernetes cluster as a single based application. Okay. So we will see that later, but right now I just wanted to create a new project. And I just wanted to make this as, let's say, the project name is movie ticket booking system. And then probably we can use the JDK. And here everyone knows about Maven. So if no idea, I will tell you again once the actual sessions are going to start, because we already have completed all these kind of things in the demos, previous demos. I just wanted to choose Maven archetype kickstart. So this is basically going to create a simple Java project, but I don't want to create a Java project. I just wanted to create a parent project for booking service as well as the parent service. Now, what I need to do, there is something called archetype, Maven archetype. So this does not generate Java. That means source folder. It will not generate the source folder where we do have source main Java. So now what we can do, we can just, 1 second. Yeah. So now I just wanted to create this application, but I just wanted to choose the folder as desktop files, Srinivas, real-time batch 2. So I just wanted to create over here. Okay, let's create this application and open in a new window. Yeah. Now we have this movie ticket booking system with no source folder, because source is not required for this. This is a parent project. I just wanted to explain about the POM packaging. So right now what we can just do, we can just close this one and probably we'll also minimize this. And here, if you can see that, we just remove all of this and I'll just keep this one. I'll just refresh it out. Okay, now this is a pure empty project, but here, what I just wanted to do, I just wanted to define a packaging tag, which is something called a POM. Now, have you seen the type as POM for the Spring Cloud? Can you go here and see that this is a type of POM? Okay, don't worry, I will explain you everything now. So now when I have defined this packaging as POM, that means this is a parent project. It does not have any Java related use cases. That means it is not a Java Maven project. It is just a Maven project. Yes, right. Hold on 1 second. What is the base of your knowledge? That is fine. Do you have any knowledge on Java?
Advanced Java.
Yeah. Core Java, advanced Java is done.
Alright.
Okay, fine. So basically, we have actually covered so many demo sessions. Actual sessions are going to be started from the next week, Monday. Okay, this is the last demo session. So we are actually discussing about Maven multi-module project. Okay. Okay, so right now what I can do, I can just define this packaging as POM, and then we can say this movie ticket booking system, which is simple a Maven project. And this has something called a packaging as POM. Got it? Okay. So let me see if there are any questions from anyone. I will explain you all the answers once I get the time now. Okay. So here there is something called a packaging form. It actually defines that movie ticket booking system, which is this project, is a parent project for the booking service as well as the payment service. But how we can say that this is a parent for the booking service as well as the payment service? Now there is something called a modules tag over here. You can just define your service name over here. And one is the booking hyphen service. And another one is payment hyphen service. I just wanted to refresh this. So now if you can see that module booking service is not found, the reason is right now this is an empty project. I can just go to my this, and I just wanted to cut this out and paste it over here. Okay, so now we have actually copy pasted it over here. And now if you can see that we have the booking service and the payment service, right? So if you see the common dependencies over here in the booking service, let's go to the form.xml. We have something called a Spring Boot Starter parent, which is already defined as parent for the booking service. And if you see the payment service, let me go to this payment service first. Okay, let me import that because that is already moved to the movie ticket booking system inside, right? So let me close this applications and close this application. It's not required. Okay. So now we have the booking service and we have the payment service. If you see the booking service form.xml, we have actually defined the parent over here. And if you see the payment service form.xml, we have actually defined one parent over here. Both the services are having the parent as Spring Boot Starter parent. Okay. Now I don't want to make these two services because these two services parent is movie ticket booking system. And if you just go to this form.xml of this movie ticket booking system, it has a group ID, artifact ID, and the version. Okay. Now just copy this over here. Just copy this from the parent team. And if you just go to this booking service, just go to the booking service. And here, I just wanted to replace this with, I just wanted to comment it out. And I just wanted to define one parent. And I just wanted to mention this as the parent as movie ticket booking system and not the Spring Boot. Okay. Now I just wanted to comment this one as well. And I just wanted to create a parent tag and then copy paste over here. And now the payment service application as well as the booking service application are having the parents as movie ticket booking system. Okay, booking service and payment service, previously both these services parent applications are Spring Boot Starter parent. Now what I need to do, I just have to comment this out first of all, and then I will just cut this out and I will just go to the form.xml of the movie ticket booking system. And I just wanted to make this parent. This is a parent, but for this one, the parent is this one. I just wanted to refresh it this. Okay. Now what I can just do, now if you just go here, everything is getting deleted over here. Now you can just see the beauty of the Maven architecture. That means we have a movie ticket booking system. This is the parent Maven Spring Boot project for the booking service as well as the payment service. That's the total idea. Any questions on this? First of all, thank you, Murali. I think everyone, today is the last demo session. I'm saying it again. The actual sessions, whatever the demo sessions, scenarios are covered, we will be again starting the same kind of things, but different use cases which are completely production based. Okay, it will not be like a normal session because even in the demo sessions, We have actually discussed some production use cases, how we are actually going to develop a mini project and all this kind of things. But anyhow, I will show the project architecture to three of you. Yeah. So any concerns on this, first of all? Anyone? See, even if you we need to do one more thing. Okay, so right now we have actually moved our parent project. That means the Spring Boot starter parent to the movie ticket booking system. Anyhow, movie ticket booking system is the parent Maven project for the booking service as well as the payment service, right? So if you just go to this, for this parent, there is another parent which is a Spring Boot. That means if you place the parent over here, that will be applicable to this child modules also. We don't have to define the parent again and say that this booking service is a Spring Boot application. By default, this comes as a Spring Boot application because we have actually mentioned this parent tag. Don't worry about this parent tag and Spring Boot starter parent. I will tell you everything. Okay. So now we need to do one more thing. If you just go to this booking service, we have another tag, which is something called a dependency management. Let's say booking payment service also has to use Feign client, then we need to provide this dependency management also in the payment service. Right now it is there inside the booking service now. Okay, now I just wanted to copy paste this first of all, remove from this and refresh it. Now I just wanted to go to the parent form and I just wanted to paste it inside the dependency management over here in the parent. And I just wanted to go to this and I remove this version because this is not required here. I just wanted to remove this. And I just wanted to refresh this here and go to this movie ticket booking system and define the version directly over here. And refresh it. And there you go, everything will be in sync. And I just wanted to decrease the font size first of all. Hope this is visible to everyone. Now go to this booking service form.xml. And also this is not required here. You can just remove this and refresh it. Yeah. And I just wanted to go to this and I just wanted to remove this. See, that is the beauty of Maven multi-module project. Okay. Then does not it become one project disturbing the microservices architecture? No, Murli. Since we do have all these microservices inside a parent project, so we can deploy this as a single application, but there will be lots and lots of microservices, which will still be microservices. This is not a single application. This is just to, let's say there are 10 to 15 different microservices, and you need to open 15 different Eclipse or 15 different IntelliJ IDEs, right? So here we can place all these microservices over here, and probably you can just go behind the scenes whether you want to go to the booking service or you wanted to go to the payment service. So it is just as simple as that. Got it? So that's the beauty of Maven multi-module project. And I said you right. So I just wanted to open the project architecture once again, desktop files. I'll just go to this folder where we do have this architecture diagrams and presentation. Yeah. So anyhow, these are the tools again. There are some newbies over here, so that's the reason I'm just going through these tools again. So we'll be using IntelliJ IDEA for developing Spring framework-based applications. We'll be using Visual Studio Code to develop Angular applications because there will be a front end for the major project. And then we'll be using Maven, which is a build tool. We'll also be having a short introduction on Gradle, and JUnit and Mockito will be covering these two, but after writing or implementing our microservices. Swagger for documenting the REST APIs, and Jacopo, this is being used for code coverage. So whatever the test cases that we have written, right? So those test cases actually needs code coverage, right? So how much code has been covered and how much code that we have tested. And then something called Sonar Cube. So Sonar Cube is basically used to analyze our coding best practices, code smells, all the major critical issues. Everything will be listed over there. We'll be discussing about this Sonar Cube as well. But we need to, write a plugin inside the pom.xml to make it use. And there is something called a Lombok, which we have already used for a lot of demo sessions. But again, I'm saying this is the end of demo sessions, and it's almost been 7 days. And followed by Angular CLI, because we will be using the CLI to develop Angular-based applications. And Git bash, this is basically to commit our code. So whatever the code that we are going to write for each and every session, which is happening on a day, we are going to commit everything inside the GitHub. I will show you how the GitHub looks, and notes is not required because I will be committing each and every major point inside the readme.md file. Okay. And there is something called a Docker. So since we are working on microservices, Docker is really required. Sorry?
Which one is it?
Readme.md file. Yes. So there is something called a Docker. So Docker is basically used as containerized platform where we actually develop microservices and deploy those applications in Docker. And then we do have AWS CLI. We'll be having the AWS services. Right now, we are actually using local databases, but right now we just have to, talk to AWS databases. Like we will be using RDS, DynamoDB, which is a NoSQL database, and then followed by there is something called AWS Lambda. We have something called reporting. We'll be using AWS Lambda for that, and also there is something called a CloudWatch trigger. Okay, and followed by Docker Compose tool. So we write every service inside a Docker Compose so that they can talk to each other. I will tell you about Docker from the day one when we start the actual sessions. And there is something called a Kafka. So right now we do have a booking service and the payment service. If the two services are up and running, booking service can call the payment service using the Spring Cloud OpenFain and it can get the response. But what happens if the payment service is down and booking service is going to call the payment service? It will never succeed. That means we lost the data. I will tell you why we are going to lose the data and all these kind of things in the next slide. There's something called a Prometheus. So Prometheus is basically used to monitor our Spring Boot applications or microservices. I have actually implemented the monitoring system, Grafana, Prometheus with visual dashboards. Let's say our microservice application is running on our system. We need to manage how to see whether what is the amount of CPU that the service is taking, what is the system resources that it is using, and what are the logs, all these kind of things. We will be using Loki for that. There are so many tools that we can use from Grafana. And there is something called ELK stack. So we will not be using ELK stack because ELK stack is very old. Right now, there is something hot in the market, which is Grafana Loki. And followed by Redis. Redis is really required to actually not hit the databases multiple times. In order to just reduce the database calls, we have to implement Redis cache. And then followed by JMeter, we'll be just doing some load testing for one of the APIs, which are actually hitting the databases. And then Postman, this is an alternative for Swagger. I will tell you the use cases of Swagger, why it is useful, because Swagger is really useful for the people who are actually working in QA environment. Okay, they do not know sometimes how to use Postman and what are all the endpoints, what type of post request they need to make, all the requests. If you have the Swagger documentation, it shows the complete request body for the actual details that they are going to provide. And there is something called the Offset Explorer. This is just a tool to see the messages inside the Kafka topic. Okay. And this is a mini project that we are going to develop. I just focused only on 3 services, but we'll be having 4 different services for this one as well. The Eureka server, API gateway, resilience, Forge, and circuit breaker. Okay. But I have not included everything over here. So the problem here is, yesterday we have actually developed 2 different applications, booking service and the payment service. Both have 2 simple get endpoints. We have actually used Faint Client in order to call the payment service from the booking service. And Spring Cloud basically used to establish communication between microservices. Spring Boot is actually used to develop Spring Framework-based applications to reduce the configuration stuff from the developer side. So when we use Spring Framework, we write a lot of configuration classes. For example, if you just wanted to connect with database, you need to create a bean for local session factory, and then you need to create a bean for data source where you need to set the URL, data source, and the username, password, and followed by the transaction manager also you need to create. But Spring Boot, when you are using Spring Boot, you don't have to do all those kind of things. You just have to provide the URL of the database, username, and the password to Spring Boot. That's it. We don't have to write any configuration or steps to connect to the database. That's what Spring Boot is so much popular in the market, so that developer can focus only on the coding logic. Okay. Now these are Suresh Prasad. I will answer your question once I complete with some pendings from my side. Okay. Hope you understand. And here we do have, the application end users. Normally we will be exposing one gateway, which is the Spring Cloud Gateway, where all our endpoints related to the booking service, payment service, and the notification service will be given. But in the API gateway, we will expose only the booking service. Why? For example, if you just go to this Book My Show app, again, I'm saying it because there are newbies. No concerns on this. Okay. So I just wanted to click on this, and I just wanted to click on book tickets. Okay. Just select any of the language, and it will take us to different theaters on the same city that we have selected over here. I just wanted to select on this time, and then I just wanted to select seats, and then probably I just wanted to select a seat over here, and I just wanted to click a pay. Now, do you know what happens inside the background? So there will be, the seat will be blocked for 2 to 3 minutes. Everyone knows about it. So now in the bookings, from the booking service, in the bookings table, there will be a booking ID, movie ID, theater name, theater ID, seats booked, etc. with booking status as pending. When we click on pay, we have not done the payment yet. Now, when we do all these things, when we just proceed with that, it will give a payment gateway screen where it will provide the UPI payments, card payments, or whatever. We can select that, and then we can just do the payment. That means once the payment service is executed, it will also receive the booking ID as well as the booking status. Now, once the payment is successful, it will use that same booking ID and the booking status. It will change the status from pending to confirmed in the payment service, and it will revert back that data back to the booking service. And now the booking service got the booking status as confirmed. Now, whatever the previous record which was inserted in the booking table, that status will change from booking status pending to confirmed. So that's the total idea. So, but here the problem over here is, if you just see this again, there is a simple flaw over here. I just wanted to explain that. Yeah. So here, do you know why I have used Kafka over here? Okay, let's say booking service is calling payment service directly. Let's say payment service is down. The record which has been inserted in the booking service bookings table with booking status as pending, that will never change. Got it? The reason why we are using Kafka over here, Kafka is a messaging platform. It's a tool which we basically use in Spring Boot microservices to actually write asynchronous code for asynchronous communication. So train client calls, let's say booking service is going to call the payment service directly. It's a synchronous call. That means it will wait for the response. Until unless it returns a response, it cannot go and change the booking status from pending to confirmed until the payment is done. Now, if we introduce Kafka over here, what is the advantage? Let's say we are not going to call, let's say I just wanted to use a laser point over here. Let's say the booking service is not calling the payment service using faint line that we have already done yesterday, the use case. The booking service is going to send the data to this Kafka topic. So booking service is like a publisher to this Kafka, and payment service is like a listener for this Kafka topic. So let me tell you what is the topic first of all. If you just go to YouTube, let's say I have just subscribed to a channel. There are so many people who can subscribe to a channel. Let's say I'm just having a very good network from my side, and then probably I have got the notification that there has been a video upload, or there has some notification on the channel. Now I will get the notification. Let's say the people who have subscribed to this same channel, they are in very village, or they have low network. Once they get a good network, they will be getting the notifications or not.
Yes.
That means they are subscribers, right? Because it's a channel, it's been subscribed, and it actually produces some messages. And whoever the consumers are there, they have actually, see, let's say I will just say one example. Sometimes when we actually go to a bank ATM, we actually deduct, we actually insert the card and debit our account money, right? So in that case, what happens? Immediately, sometimes messages will not come. It will come in the late night. That means the service is having some maintenance problems, but we will not be losing the data. But once the service is up and running, it will just start consuming the messages from the topic, and then probably it will publish the messages once the service is up. And whoever all the consumers are there, they will get the messages. And we will not be having any kind of data loss when we are using these kind of tools like Kafka. And Kafka is very much popular, and configuring this inside so many applications, like booking service is a publisher right now over here. It is actually producing the messages to the topic. And also payment service is actually consuming the data from the Kafka topic, right? Now what happens? Once the payment service has actually processed the payment, it has to respond to the booking service. That means again, the payment service is actually a listener. That means it's a consumer, as well as at the same time, it is a publisher as well. So there will be two topics. One is the payment request topic, where booking service will actually send the data to the payment request topic. And payment service will actually send the response to the payment response topic with the booking status as confirmed. And then booking service will also act as listener, so that it can actually listen to this Kafka topic and change the booking status from pending to confirmed in the booking service table. So booking service has its own database, and payment service also has its own database. It's not a single database. So I have not kept a database for payment service also, because it's already huge diagram. So I just wanted to make big fonts so that everyone can see. And here the payment service is not a dummy payment. So we will be using a PayPal or Stripe. Stripe is a very good API where it actually provides some APIs to refund back the payment also. There is something called a Saga pattern in microservices, where we actually, Saga pattern is mostly used in distributed transactions and environment, where there are lots and lots of microservices, especially for banking and finance-based applications. They use Saga pattern because sometimes they need to refund the amount also. If you consider the Swiggy application, you have just made a payment to a restaurant, ordering some item. The restaurant has to approve it because the item has to be available in their kitchen. If it is not available, let's say the restaurant has not approved your order in the Swiggy or Zomato, you will get a refund, right? So that is something called a Saga pattern, where it actually revert back the transactions according to the actions which were performed by the end user. Okay, so that's the total idea. And this is a mini project, but this will be very much complex. This is not as simple as it is. We'll be using a lot of clean code principles, solid design principles, and also some design patterns. I'll tell you what kind of design patterns we are going to use. And followed by, we'll be developing a multi-module project. And I also wanted to show that how Maven multi-module project really makes developer life very much easy. I'll just tell you one simple use case. Booking service have to use booking related details. Payment service also has to use booking related details. Can we create booking Java class with some properties like booking ID, etc., inside the booking service? And also in the payment service, can we define the same Pojo class again? It's not required, but again, we are actually defining the same Pojo class in booking service as well as the payment service, right? Can I just tell you one simple way? Yeah, so here what I will be doing, I will be just creating one simple module. And for this, the parent will be, so let's say I just wanted to make it as commons. Okay. Now I just wanted to make the parent as movie ticket booking system only. And I just wanted to select this as Maven archetype. Maven archetype. Quick start. And then probably I'll be creating this commons. Now the commons has been created. Now I will tell you what is the main advantage of using this commons module. Okay. But don't worry, I will explain everything because this is the last demo session. I just wanted to conclude the demo session with Maven multi-module project. Okay. So now I just wanted to go to this parent form where I have actually defined the modules over here, and module commons is also added. Let's refresh this. And here I just wanted to go to the common, and I just wanted to create one package called DTO. We have to change this package also, but right now I have kept org.example only. And I just wanted to make use of this booking DTO. I've renamed this. And here in the pom.xml, I just wanted to add a Lombok. So here I just wanted to go to the start.spin.io, select a Maven, and add the dependency of Lombok. So explore and take that Lombok from here and paste it inside the pom.xml of the booking service. Refresh it. Let's go to this booking detail and provide some fields like private, string, booking ID. But here, when we are actually using microservices, we do not use booking ID or payment ID as strings, integers, or longs or doubles. There is something called a UUID. When we are actually developing microservices, we need to use UUIDs. UUIDs are very much popular in microservices. Let's say payment service will have its own database. Booking service will have its own database. There is no relationship between bookings and payment service. In microservices, we do not maintain any relational databases, which will slow up the performance of microservices. There has to be a separate database, and the database must contain at least 2 or 3 tables, not more than that. Okay. And now the other property, private string, I'll just make it as integer movie ID, and I just wanted to use string. What are the other properties that we can give? Theater ID, because we will not be passing theater ID, theater city, all these kind of things. Theater ID itself has ticket details, theater details, right? So theater name, it has theater city, also it has, right? What are all the movies listed inside the theater? It will be there. Okay. And I just wanted to take only these 3 things, and I just wanted to generate a getter. I just wanted to generate a setter. But in order to do all these kind of things, we don't need getter and setter. There is one single annotation which will generate getter, setter, required ask constructor, toString, equals and hash code. So in real time, we do not write any of this boilerplate code in our classes. We just eliminate it and we just use Lombok as a software, add that as a dependency and use it. It will generate all the getters and setters. Okay. Now I have this data and I just wanted to generate no args and all args. Because if you just see that, there is something called required args constructor. Required args constructor is basically used for final variables. Okay. Yeah. And now just wanted to minimize this. And now what I just wanted to do, I have to use this booking DTO, which is there inside the comments. I just wanted to use it in booking service as well as the payment service. What is the alternative for this? Now, for this comments, if you just see this pom.xml, right? What is the artifact? What is the group ID and what is required for this, right? So I just wanted to remove this. And here, there's a comments, right? Who is the parent? Movie ticket booking system, right? I just wanted to refresh this first of all. Yeah. Now I just wanted to go to this form.xml of the parent. And here I have already mentioned Spring Cloud dependency. If I mention Spring Cloud dependencies as form type over here, I don't have to mention version inside the booking system where we are actually using Spring Cloud Starter OpenFrame. We are not mentioning a version over here because that version is already managed by the dependency management of the Spring Cloud dependencies. Now, I have to use Commons project as a dependency for booking service as well as the payment service. What I can simply do, I'll just go to this form.xml of the booking service. I'll just go over here and I'll just add a dependency and I'll just mention it as Commons. But do you see Commons over here? Okay, let me go to this and who's the parent for this Commons? Yeah, so what is the group ID for this? Let's go to this. This is a group ID or .example. Okay, I just wanted to copy this and go to the form.xml of the booking service and paste it over here. Just refresh it. And also you need to give the version, but I will tell you when to not use version. Okay, 1.0. What is the version of this Commons? Go to the Commons and there is something called there is no version, but what is the parent version? That is what we need to give, and this is the version. I'll just go to this booking service and just refresh it. There you go. And now if you just go to this endpoint of the API, we can just copy this and we can just give @post mapping. And here I can use booking DTO. Can you see this? Do I have to define booking DTO in booking service as well as the payment service? No, we actually don't do this in real time. Okay. And now only the simple thing that you just go to this payment service account. And if you just go to this main Java and go to the API, and I just wanted to use, let's say I just wanted to create another endpoint over here. I just wanted to expand this and make it as post mapping. And here, trigger, okay, make payment, because that is already there. And here I cannot use booking DTO because I have not mentioned the dependency of Commons inside this payment service. Now I just wanted to go to this form.xml and I just wanted to provide the dependency over here. Oh, sorry, dependency org.example, which is the parent group ID. And then here I just have to define Commons and just refresh it. And there you go. And you will be getting the booking DTO over here as well. Not only DTOs or POJOs, we can define in Commons module and use it in a lot of services. In real time, we will have at least 20 plus services. If we have to use multiple POJO classes, model classes, even the services or the repositories also, we can keep everything inside this Commons module and use it from anywhere. So that's the total idea. But only one thing I just wanted to say. Right now, we have seen the pom.xml of the parent. I have just made a version over here. And if you just go to this booking service, I have just made a version over here. But I don't want to maintain versions. If I have to use this version in all the different microservices, if service version is going to change, I need to change it in every place. The best advantage of copy this dependency, go to the parent pom.xml and go to the dependency management and add the dependency over here and refresh it from here and go to the pom.xml of the payment service, remove this version. It will just work on the fly. And go to the booking service pom.xml. And okay, I have not gone to the payment service. Yeah, payment service, remove this version, not required at all. So did you understand about the dependency management tag? Whatever the dependency that we are going to mention inside the dependency management of the parent movie ticket booking system, we don't have to define the versions in the child projects. And that's the reason I just wanted to conclude one thing. If you just go to this pom.xml, what is the parent project for this movie ticket booking system? Spring Boot startup parent, right? Now, if I define Spring Boot startup web inside this pom.xml as Spring Boot startup web, version is not required because who is the parent for this movie ticket booking system? And for the movie ticket booking system, the parent is Spring Boot startup parent. That's the total idea. And another idea is I'm just using Spring Cloud libraries also. I cannot define parent again because Spring Boot is the parent for the Spring as well as the Spring Cloud. Okay, that's the reason Spring Cloud, if we have to add and manage the versions, just define in the parent project, which is not a Java project. In the parent project, just define the dependency of the Spring Cloud dependency and the version over here. And if you just go to the booking service, and if you just go to this open starter frame, you don't have to provide the version. So whatever the dependency along with version that you are going to place inside the dependency management tag, by default, we don't have to give any version. We can just change the version over here and it will be reflected to all the services. That's the total idea. And this is how we actually manage a lot of dependencies, versions. And this is an example of Maven multi-module project. But don't worry, this was very fast because this is a demo session. Actual sessions are going to be started. And probably yesterday we have actually covered OpenFame to actually establish communication between microservices, and Spring Cloud is going to provide and establish communication between Spring Boot microservices, because Spring Boot alone cannot do a communication with other Spring Boot applications. You need to use Spring Cloud, and that is something as another platform. There are 3 platforms in Spring. One is Spring Framework, Spring Boot, and Spring Cloud. But don't consider Spring Boot as a tool or framework. Spring Boot is just a technology which makes developers to develop Spring Boot applications, that means Spring Framework based applications, which are production grade. How we can say that as production grade? Because Spring Boot internally has an actuator, which actually provides monitoring and management kind of stuff. We have actually covered that in day before a study session, but don't worry, I will cover all those things again when the actual sessions are going to start. Okay, so that's the total idea, and let me see the questions from these guys first of all. Yeah, UUID is really important. Let's say I just wanted to open my I just wanted to show some records. Skip it. I'll just show some records to you guys. Okay. So if you see that there is a bookings database. Bookings database has only one bookings. That means this is something related to seats that we have actually booked. Okay. So if you see this, this is a UUID. Okay. And here, if you see that we have confirmed status and then probably we have pending status, right? All these kind of things. And if you just go to the payment status, this is a payment ID where it has a booking ID as a reference, because in the world of microservices, we don't have any relationships because payments has a database. So payments is a database which internally has a payments table. Bookings is a database which has bookings as well as the seats related data, right? So we have all this data. Now, the only problem is booking service and payment service databases do not have any relationship. But in microservices, we need to use some identifier to identify that this request is belonging to this booking ID. If you don't maintain that reference, let's say if you are using only, let's say everyone uses integer and they will make @ generated value strategy equal to identity or to all these kind of things. If you just use 1, 2, 3, 4, there are so many services which will start with 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you understand? You will not be able to understand. If you have the UUID, then probably you can analyze that this booking ID is related to this payment and this payment has this related booking ID. And we can also see whether the status is confirmed or pending, whatever it is. Okay. So here, again, I'm just showing, these are the sample payments that we have done. We'll just show that again and again, but I will not be showing it again because we'll be doing it practically. Yeah, you can place mini project in resume, but with different project name. I will tell you the roles and responsibility, what you need to keep. I will tell you, Shravani. Yeah. So I just wanted to select, see, for doing the payments, even in PayPal, Paytm, Razor Pay, right? All these payment gateways are going to provide sandboxes. See, right now there are so many companies who just wanted to establish payments. If you consider Amazon, it supports all credit cards, UPI payments, everything. The only thing is there has to be a payment gateway for payment creations, transactions, real-time transactions. So if I just wanted to develop a website, I just don't want to deal with all the credit cards or something like that. I just wanted to use PayPal or Paytm or even a UPI, PhonePe, right? So whatever the payment gateway that you are going to use, every payment gateway is going to provide a sandbox to developers or organizations so that they can check what is the performance, whether the payments are getting fast or not. Everything they can test it in the sandbox. So Stripe is a payment gateway which is actually providing very good APIs for Java, especially, and probably we can use those in order to do the payments. And these are the test payments that we have recently done, and these are dummy payments, but these are actually real-time payments only, but in test mode. So if you see this, it's just 9.80, and this was done November 6th because we have already completed the mini project, the batch which is running at evening 6 p.m. We have already done this, okay? And if you just go to this all transactions, it will show the information to everyone. Let's say if I just go to the transactions, I just wanted to click on this test payment. And you can see that what is the payment method, Visa has been used or not, payment has been succeeded or not. I just kept the statement descriptor as ABC systems just for dummy. And then what is the fee and what is the net, what is the status and all these kind of things. Whatever the ID that we are going to get, we are going to store the same ID inside our payment database. That's the total idea. Okay. Yeah. Suresh Prasad.
Yeah, yes, sir. I have a few questions, sir.
Yeah, hi Suresh. Tell me. You have everyday questions, right? You can ask me.
Yeah, so
No
first
problem.
of
You
all,
can ask me.
regarding timings, like is it what time we are going to have
See,
the class?
actually, so today I was actually started the session at 9:20, but today I just wanted to make two announcements. First of all,
Mhm.
today the session is going to start at 9. Okay, because the actual sessions are going to be started on Monday. And today I'm just going to travel to my hometown because there is the Diwali and small function. So
Yeah.
during this weekend, everyone has to refresh their core Java knowledge because the coding stuff will be very much in depth and very much complex. But I will be explaining all the things from my side. But core Java knowledge is at least required for this. Even Spring Framework knowledge is not really required because we'll be developing the mini project with all the kind of explanation from my side. And this is one example. Suresh, 1 second, because
Yes.
there are some new candidates also. I have to repeat all this kind of things every day. So whatever the sessions that I'm going to take, let's say I just wanted to develop a fake notification system, you will get the classes and the descriptions, whatever I have taught, everything in the readme.md file. Everything will be explained and there will be no notes will be given because I'm not an instructor and when I say you have to write a notes. This is a digital world and I just have described everything, whatever I have taught, only the major points which will help you to describe yourself. Let's say when we are using at the rate controller and at the rate response body, why this is actually required. Every description has been given for this and also how to convert the Spring Boot application, Spring Web application to Spring Boot. Each and everything has been given completely over here. So you'll not be, having anything related to questions like, can we get the notes or all these kind of things? Yes, we'll be providing the notes every day through this readme.md file. Okay. Yeah, Suresh, please go forward.
Yeah. So regular timing is going to be 9 to 10 or 9 to 9,
It will be
10:30.
9 to 10:15 at least because 15 minutes will go for discussions and at least 1 hour we'll be doing the complete coding part, Suresh.
Okay. And the sample project is going to be for 1 month or how many days?
No. So if I'm not wrong, so if you just see this one, right? So probably we have this mini project, right? So here, these projects will be developed from after 7 days of the actual sessions. Let's say the session is going to be started from Monday, actual sessions. So Monday to Friday, I'll be having one refresher program for the tools like Git, how to actually use Git and get professional inside that Git by using some commands. And also how to develop Maven projects from scratch for all the services. Right now, I have listed only booking service, payment service, notification service, but at the end, it will be 10 different services. Okay. And followed by some Spring Framework topics. That means I will not be going or taking one topic, let's say application context, bean factor. I will not be going through the hierarchy, but how we are actually using some kind of classes interfaces or application aware interfaces which are provided by Spring in real time. We'll be using exactly the same way. It's not a topic wise discussion. So every scenario will be having a production use case. That's the total idea.
Okay,
Okay, Suresh? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear. So this mini project will be for 1 month. How long it will go? Like just trying to.
It will be started from
How many weeks?
A week after a week. That means the next week we'll be having a complete refresher program. After that, we'll be starting with the mini project. But in order to develop this booking service and payment service itself takes 1 month completely because
Okay.
it has a lot of coding stuff, JUnit and Mockto test cases, including the code coverage and all these kind of things, Suresh.
Okay, sir. Tomorrow, so next class will be on Monday, right, sir?
Yes, right, exactly.
Okay. And today you're talking about regarding that Maven multi-mode this project, right?
Yes,
So
right.
instead of Maven, can we have Gradle multi-mode?
I think a Gradle will be very much complex for the people who have not learned about Gradle, first of all, but probably I'm very much proficient in Maven. I have not developed multi-module projects using Gradle, Suresh.
Okay, but concept is going to be similar, right? Because
that's right. Exactly.
I'm from
here we actually have to use some Groovy syntax, not the syntax.
Yeah, no problem. And other question was regarding this thing, right? You were talking about, I saw somewhere we use some snapshot 1.0 versions and all, right?
Yeah, don't worry about that. I will be explaining the Marvin multi-module project because since we start developing our Marvin multi-module project from scratch, there are certain steps that we need to consider, Suresh. So I will
Okay.
explain it
Okay.
again because this is a very fast lecture. I've developed it very fast, but the actual sessions will be bit slow because everyone has to understand. And also there will be some, I will be, picking up some candidates from this group or offline where I will just test their knowledge whether they are properly getting it or not. Okay, so
Okay,
everything
that
will
will
be there.
really
Yeah.
help. Yeah. And I saw that Parent has some version, right? Parent, and they have so many dependencies. So
Yes,
those
I will tell you
dependencies
that they are very
version
in
will
depth.
be.
Yeah, they are very in depth, Suresh, but not right now. I just wanted to, communicate with other people also. They have some questions. I will come back to you later again.
Yeah, sure. I think we don't have anything then.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you
Thank you,
so much.
Suresh. Yeah. Nivas?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Nivas. Tell me.
Sir, in Maven multimodal project, you mentioned type as POM, sir. What is its full
Sorry?
form, sir? You said pill of something, pill of. In Maven multimodal project, sir, in type, you
Yeah,
mentioned as POM.
yeah.
You said its full form something, pill of something. You said,
Can
sir. What is
you
its full form,
please
sir?
raise your voice, Nivas, because your voice is bit low.
Can you hear me now, sir?
It's same like that, but talk loudly so that we can hear loud.
Sir, in Maven multimodal
Hmm.
project, you mentioned type as POM.
Okay.
You said that full form of a POM, pill of something, sir. What is that, sir? Pill.
So I see. I will tell you. Okay. So there is something called
The POM is browser object module, and as per my knowledge, POM is page object module.
1 second. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. So there is something called sorry, not this one. I will just open the Spring Cloud. Yeah. So if you can see here in Spring Cloud, we call it as a BOM. BOM means bill of materials. Bill of materials in the sense each and every material is a software. That means right now we have used Spring Cloud Starter Open Fame. That is a material. That means that is one kind of software. So normally in Maven architecture, BOM type is not there. It's a special type of POM. That's it. We actually mention it as a type of POM. So let's say this is Spring Cloud dependencies is a type of special POM. So that's the reason if you just go to this parent POM.xml and if you just see the dependencies, here we need to specially mention that it has a type of POM. Do you know why? I will tell you why. Okay, so if you just take the parent of this particular page, parent, Spring Maven ticket booking system, this has a Spring Boot starter parent. That means I don't have to define this dependency in booking service as well as the payment service, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, actually, this is one single parent, but can I define multiple parents again for Spring Cloud?
No.
No, right? So that's
Yes.
the reason when Spring Cloud came into the market, they actually identified that Spring Cloud needs Spring Boot as a parent. Okay. And that's the reason they have actually made these Spring Cloud dependencies as a special type of POM so that it can act as a child for the Spring Boot. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Got it? But you don't have to worry about all these things. I will explain again and again. This is just a top level overview.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
and one more doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any alternate for Maven multimodal project in Gradle, sir?
Sorry?
Maven, is there any alternate for Maven multimodal project in Gradle, sir? Gradle, do you have anything like that? Like Maven
Same thing applies to Gradle also. In Gradle also, we can develop Gradle multi-module projects.
Clear, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Nimas. Murali Krishna? Sorry. Yes, Murali.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hey, Murali, good morning.
I want to ask regarding Eclipse. While creating a project, we can directly add starters, right?
Right.
So do you have the option for IntelliJ as well?
Yeah, we do have option for IntelliJ because right now I'm just using Community Edition as well as the Ultimate Edition. Only in Ultimate Edition you can just create Spring Boot startup projects, but there is a special kind of tool for everyone that is something called a STS. But I recommend everyone to use IntelliJ because when we start using Dockers and Kubernetes, IntelliJ is going to provide a very good slide windows where we actually start our Docker containers very much easily. Using Eclipse or STS, we cannot do that very quickly. But again, I'm saying I'll be giving a small demo on IntelliJ, how to use IntelliJ, how to search the files, how to actually create the projects from scratch. And also, I will also give some knowledge on creating Maven multi-module projects also. I'll just take 10 to 15 minutes of time to explain about IntelliJ on how to create projects. Okay, Murali?
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
So
thank
one more question.
Yeah.
What topics you are going to cover regarding Spring security?
See, we'll be covering Spring Framework where core is a part, web is a part, and also security is a part. These three modules. And we will use these modules inside a Spring Boot in order to eliminate configurations. And we will establish communication between microservices using Spring Cloud.
Yes.
That's the total.
I mean, since you'll be using the latest version, so any chance you're using Resilience 4J, sir?
Yes, we'll be using Resilience 4J also. 1 second. One second. I'll just show you that right now. 1 second. There is already a movie ticket booking system, which was already completed for real-time batch. And here, if you just go to this, I'll just select the Kafka payment gateway. And I'll just close this over here. And if you see here, there is an API gateway. And here, if you see the pom.xml, there is something called a Spring Cloud Starter Circuit Breaker Reactor Resilience 4J. This is a reactor library.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes,
Hope you got it.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Murali. That's all?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Gaurav, any questions? You raised your hand. You are the last person.
Yes, sir. Sir, initially we have created, payment service and booking service. And
Right.
for this too, we have created movie tickets booking system. So if we
Yeah.
see a whole application, like movie ticket booking system, so will it act like a monolithic application or microservices?
Yeah, I will clarify your doubt. Let's say, do we have services inside that?
Yes.
Do you have single Java application or multiple Java applications?
Multiple Java application.
That means, is it a monolithic or microservices?
That is more microservices, but for these two we have one parent project.
Gaurav. So when you actually commit this code inside a GitHub repository, right?
Yeah.
Do you know about Jenkins first of all?
Yeah, I know about Jenkins.
See, when we even when it is a Maven multi-module project, each and every service has its own Jenkins pipeline.
Okay.
Movie ticket booking system is not a Java project; it's just a POM project, and it has so many lots of services. Each and every service will have its own Jenkins file where we actually write a pipeline script. When we commit the code to GitHub, it will trigger a Jenkins pipeline for build.
Okay.
There, don't imagine that only movie ticket booking system is there because it does not have any code. What it will do? Tell me first of all.
Yeah, sir. Yes.
Yeah, that's the total idea, Gaurav. Any other?
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, Naresh. Welcome back for questions.
Thanks for your explanations. And after we developing the application, we need to provide the security, right?
Right.
So we are going to So you are going to explain those OAuth and OAuth 2 also, right? In the
No,
session?
we will be not covering OAuth 2. We will be using JWT.
JWT.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Like this JWT is kind of OAuth only or what?
No, JWT
different.
is different. OAuth is different. We have so many scenarios in OAuth too, because
Yeah.
OAuth 2 is very much complex to understand. JWT is very simple to implement, and also we will be implementing it only at the API gateway level, not at services level. Because
Yeah, but
security has to be
real-time.
implemented at the gateway, because API gateway is only the endpoint where the end users will start calling the services.
Yeah, but the real-time point of view nowadays, most of they are using OAuth 2, right? So,
Right.
like if you have time, so a small kind of any
I
in
think that's
future.
not a part of this project, Naresh. I think there are very good YouTube tutorials you can get it easily.
Yeah,
But
we'll get it. Yeah.
the only thing from my side, JWT itself will take some time to implement and also make me to explain it to you.
Okay.
In market, if you see OAuth 2 or JWT, because OAuth 2 is a separate authorization server which is not maintained by Spring Framework.
Okay.
JWT is internally being used by Spring. Let me tell you one simple example. Those persons who are actually working on banking or finance-based applications, what happens is, banking or finance-based applications, they will not use any external servers, first of all. And the reason being, they use JWT, not the OAuth 2. Do you get it, Naresh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the total idea. And the last question is from Saho.
Yes, sir. Can you show me the course content? What you will be cover in this total training section? How many project and what will be the course content? Can you show?
Yeah. So see, right now I will say we are going to develop 9 different microservices, Saho. Okay. All those are Spring Boot microservices with Spring Framework, Spring Boot, and Spring Cloud.
Okay.
And the tools, I think you have already seen the tools, whatever the tools that you are going to use, all those tools will be used.
Which tools you will use, sir?
Have you not seen the PowerPoint presentation previously?
No.
Then when you have joined this call, first of all?
Today only.
This is the problem. Okay, so these are all the tools. You can just have a look over here.
So then,
yes, sir.
So then, actually, sir, I am AWS also. You will be going to cover, sir.
Yes, right.
Okay.
We will not be using any services which are running on our local machine. Everything we have to communicate on the cloud.
Okay, sir. Then how many projects you will be going to, sir, doing?
I said to you, right? There are 9 different microservices.
No, sir. It is a microservice project. Only one project, mini project, you will be complete, or any other major project, anything will be there.
No. So whatever the project that you see over here, this is a mini project, right?
Okay, sir.
This is the only project that we are going to develop. And there are 9 microservices. I have not kept this over here because the window size is not enough over here. That's the total idea.
Okay, sir. Then Angular, these things are you are not going to cover.
Angular is a part of this particular course, right?
Okay. No, sir. I think that you will be developing.
Okay, basically you are asking about the mini project and the major project also. So major project is a Swiggy-based application, Saho.
Okay.
It's a Swiggy application. You all know about Swiggy, right? So we are going to develop the same application like this. First of all, let me implement this. So the UI will exactly look like this. The same colors, the same fonts. And whenever you select a particular hotel over here, we will also display. But here we have lots and lots of restaurants. But here, for our major project, we'll be having 2 or 3 restaurants with menus. We cannot make our application as complex as it is. And here, if you can see that, we can add the, we can add the details over here. And if you just go to the card, it's just simple like doing a payment. But here in the major project, we'll be using a Razor Pay to do UPI payments, credit card payments, as well as some alternative payments like Paytm, PhonePe, etc. Okay.
So then what, you will be going to teach one mini project and one major project.
Yes.
So mini project how many day and major project how many day? In major project, what things you are going to cover,
Okay.
sir?
So the total tenure is 3 months. Okay. The first month we'll be spending the complete time, but for 1 week we'll be having a refresher program. But in the first month we will be completing our mini project with all the backend functionalities, Saho. And from
Okay.
the second month, I will be taking Angular sessions to explain about Angular and what are all required from Angular. Not everything. We just have to concentrate on routing, how to call our backend services using HTTP client provided by Angular, and followed by interceptors, where we actually use Angular interceptors to pass the data, that means the token, to our backend services every time after authenticating. And the fourth one is using forms. Okay. And the third month, once we develop this UI, we need to implement backend services for this. So here again, the 9 services will come, but those are not the booking service related, that means movie ticket booking system services. These are separate services for the Swiggy. Got it?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I can just show you the, header that we have actually developed. We have given the portal name as Hunger Savior instead of Swiggy, but we are using the same kind of approach. Here, if you can just see, I can just show only the header because that is the part only done because it's been almost 1 month, 10 days. So here, if you can just see, this is just a Hunger Savior. This is just a logo name and followed by whatever you see, offers, Swiggy, search, offers, help, sign in, and card. The same kind of structure we are going to follow. And this is what it exactly looks like. Okay. But the UI will be very much good. And we will not be using so much CSS, very less CSS, and we will make our application very much beautiful. I see that a lot of people use a lot of CSS, but there is a lot of disadvantage for that. We will not be using CSS, we'll be using SAS. Okay. That's the total idea.
Okay, sir. So then, yes, sir. Then JUnit Mockito will be covered in the major project or in mini project?
Sorry?
JUnit Mockito will be covered in mini project or major
No, in the
project?
mini project, we will not be doing much JUnit and Mockito. Only just to explain about JUnit and Mockito, we'll be writing some test cases for mini project. But for the major project, we'll be writing the test cases along with the coverage.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Neha, if you don't have any questions, probably the session is already done. Hi, Neha. Hello, Neha. Can you hear me? I think your voice is not audible. Can you just check the mic on your side and select speakers? If you are using headphones, select the headphones from here like this. You can see my screen. I think your voice is not audible. Try changing all this kind of options over here so that you'll be getting, I will be getting your voice. Or you can post your question in the chat. Morning and evening batch. No, PN Rao, don't attend the evening batch. It's almost been 1.5 months since we have started on Angular. So don't attend that batch because it's already in the mid and there are so many production use cases which are already covered. I think right now this is the correct batch for you, PN Rao. Angular test cases, it's not my job. We are just Java developers who are working on Angular. If you want to write test cases, let's say there are all, you cannot go to a place where you will start the project from scratch. You'll get all the applications pre-developed. There will be some existing cases where you can use the existing test cases and see, test cases is not a challenge. every developer does a copy paste. I see that in a lot of my junior developers, right? So how can we check readme.m? I'll tell you all those things about that, Neha Kumari, because I have not taught about Git during this demo sessions. So I'll give you the complete links on how to clone the projects and how to fork the projects as well. Yeah, next class will be on Monday. So I'll be going to my hometown today and I will be back on Monday morning itself. Okay. So probably there is a Diwali. Happy Diwali to everyone, and hope you enjoy your with your family members. Will you cover front end for Swiggy? Yes, Saksham Singh. Swiggy portal we will be developing from scratch. Only the required things which are required from Angular. I think we are actually going to cover 50 to 60% of the Angular topics. And I think once those topics are clear to you, then probably you can learn those others. That will be very much easy. No, payment gateway is not just for testing purposes, Naresh Yam. So we'll be using API gateway for security, configuring the security, but the security will be a reactive security, not just like a declarative security. I will tell you how to use reactive libraries. Okay. And that's all. Okay, then happy Diwali to everyone, and have a great day and happy learning. Thank you and have a nice day.